So one of the most important lessons I ever learned in middle school, high school, college, or beyond, even though I'm about 79 now, even though I look younger hopefully, is that comparison is the thief of joy. It was first said by President Teddy Roosevelt, and I learned the truth of it way back when my oldest brother and I decided that we were going to run the London Marathon in England. So I'd been studying in England for a year, my junior year of college, and my brother and I had this dream. We'd had it for many years to run a marathon, 26.2 miles. We thought, man, that would be incredible to run a marathon. We would love to do it. And so I was over in England and my brother and I were emailing and we finally said, why not try the London Marathon? How cool would that be to run it together? So my brother Chris and I, who's 6 years older than me, we started training and we would email each other updates, and he was deaf, so at that point there was no text messaging on cell phones, especially across the Atlantic. So we would call each other on the TTY through an operator, and we would tell each other about our training schedule and how we were doing. And the time finally came when Chris flew over and we were going to run the London Marathon. So the morning of the marathon, we were psyched, we lined up, we were like, we're going to do this. Now in our training, we were running about 9-minute miles. Now we got there and it just started the race and we were psyched, and we saw hundreds of thousands of people everywhere, runners, people lining on the side, people dressed up as chickens, astronauts, all kinds of crazy stuff. And we got kind of excited and we thought, maybe we could win the London Marathon. How cool would that be? Two totally unknown guys. So we lined up, and when the gun went off, we started sprinting as fast as we could. Forget 9-minute miles, we were going 6-minute miles, 5.5-minute miles. We were sprinting. We got to about mile 2 and we looked at each other and we were about to vomit. Or diarrhea or something awful. We said, we can't do this. So we started to slow down. 6.5-minute miles, 7-minute miles, 7.5-minute miles. By the time we got to mile 8, we were sucking air so hard we were wiped. But we said, we gotta keep going. We gotta keep going. At mile 10, my mom was there, our mom, and she was like, go, Chris, go, Luke. And we thought, we're trying. And we kept going as fast as we could, but it was like 9.5-minute miles, 10-minute miles. By about mile 15, we both looked at each other and we said, what is the point? And we more said, what is the point? We were exhausted. We couldn't do it. But we said, we got to finish. Even though we are probably going to come in last, thinking once we'd come in first, we have to finish. We committed to each other. We're going to cross the line. Okay, we're going to do it. Mile 21, mile 22, mile 23. And when we got to about mile 23, we realized, hey, we're going to finish. And maybe that's pretty good. You know, we didn't even do 9-minute miles, but at least we're going to finish the race. We'll have checked off one of our dream boxes, and we thought, that's cool. And at mile 23, we looked to our side, and a guy carrying a full-size canoe just passes us. Come on, guys, keep going. And we looked at him, and we were like, this guy is carrying a full-size canoe, probably heavier than both my brother and I put together, and here he is passing us. And all of a sudden, whatever excitement we had managed to regenerate finish this race, seeing it as a dream, that excitement was gone. Canoe-Man was passing us, and we thought, that's crazy. Now our bodies felt even worse. Our hearts just sunk. It was like someone had just put weights on top of them, pushing us down into the ground. And we just thought, what's the point? What is the point? So we finished. Canoe-Man beat us. We're going to be the slowest guys in the history of the London Marathon to ever run the London Marathon. Now we held hands, and we actually did end up finishing the race. Our time was way at the bottom, 5.5 hours. The winner could have lapped us and still beaten us. Could have done 2 London Marathons. We crossed the finish line, and instead of feeling like we had accomplished something awesome that we dreamed about as brothers, we felt like total failures. Now at that point, I hadn't heard Teddy Roosevelt's quote, and so for a long time I felt like, yeah, we finished, but Canoe-Man beat us. What's the point? And I later heard Teddy Roosevelt's quote, comparison is the thief of joy. And somehow that London Marathon experience totally got changed in my mind, and I realized up until the point where we were passed by Canoe-Man, we were feeling pretty good. Yeah, it wasn't as fast as we wanted, but deep down we still felt like we were pursuing a dream. We were doing something we had longed to do. We were side by side, brother to brother, accomplishing a dream together. When Canoe-Man passed us, that got destroyed because we compared ourselves to him. Look at what he's holding. Look how fast he can go compared to us. We're not even holding a canoe, and we're slower than this guy. And how many times in life, as middle school students, high school, college, work, beyond, whatever stage of life we're in, whatever we pursue with our hearts and with our bodies, how many times we compare ourselves to others. I'm not as big as him. I don't look as beautiful as her. And in our minds, we're seeing the tip of the iceberg in everybody else. And we compare ourselves to that. But it robs us. It steals that joy away. Whether you get a grade or a friend or a dream or a hope, as soon as we let ourselves compare it to other people, that joy is robbed. And so I challenge you, I challenge myself every day that I come in to teach. I challenge you and I challenge me and all of us to stop comparing ourselves to others. To stop looking at the tip of the iceberg of everyone else's life and saying, man, I'm either not as good as them, or to try to feel better by saying, man, I got it so much better than them. My grade was like a 99.7 and they got a 92.1. No comparison, man, I'm way better. That's not going to help us. Whether we're better or worse, all we're seeing is the tip of the iceberg, and the truth is something way bigger, way more full deep down. Comparison.